Now that you've got an agent, what's your biggest tip to riders?
Do my best to get a good time on this hike.
Got an agent, it's really exciting. I'm starting draft 6. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today is Friday. I'm quite sleepy because it's currently 6:10 a.m. and I have gotten up early to go for a hike this morning. I'm planning on working on Project Teacup in this vlog. I want to answer some of your questions. There's been some really exciting developments with everything going on at the moment, but I'm starting this vlog literally at dawn, still half asleep, because I've been wanting to go for a hike for the past 2 weeks to have this like really motivating start to working on Project Teacup, but it hasn't worked out, and so I've already started draft 6. I'm a few days into it and the hike's happening today. That's fine, and we are rolling with the punches for 2024. I'm gonna grab some tea and very quickly some breakfast. Today, as I said, my plan is to hike a mountain, a little mountain, Mount Lofty. It's the most iconic hike you can do here in Adelaide. It's been a while since I've hiked Lofty, and I haven't been doing a lot of fitness stuff since we came home from America because I was so stressed with querying and there's so many things going on, and so I'm slowly getting back into fitness stuff and running again, and I want to make more of an effort this year to go on hikes. I wanted to go on this hike, have it be like a symbolic gesture of new beginnings, and got an agent. It's really exciting. I'm starting draft 6. As I said, every day that I'd planned to get up and go for this hike, things went wrong, but it has been an almost hilariously messy start to 2024. But anyway, that is fine. The plan is today to go for a hike. I want to go grab breakfast. This is breakfast, but I wanted to go grab brunch from a place I've been wanting to go to for the past maybe 3 or 4 months, but I want it to be like a special occasion, and I think today is the day. But it's pretty early still, so hopefully we can make a good time and get to the mountain early. It is now 7:19 a.m. We made pretty good time on the drive. The birds are always so pretty here. I love listening to them. The hike is supposed to take about an hour. Normally we do it in about 50 minutes. I'm going to time myself to see how I go. It's one of my favorite things to do exercise or to do like a long walk or something in nature before I start writing work, because I feel like it just makes me feel really calm and I can concentrate well, and it helps like all the creativity stuff. I love coming here early because the birds are so loud and it's very pretty and cool, but it's already incredibly busy here. That first bit's so steep, it always catches me off guard. How am I already puffed? I'm gonna stop taking pictures of the waterfall and the plants now. I'm gonna actually do my best to get a good time on this hike. Oh, my face is so red. I literally look sunburned. Okay, it's fine. I think I did a reasonably good job at it, except that I started getting lethargic at like the 3/4 mark. I did trip. I didn't fall, but I did. You're not supposed to run down because obviously that can hurt your knees, but I get so impatient and it's so easy to kind of like jog down the mountain. There was a moment where like I kind of like caught my shoe on a rock, but I was fine. caught myself. I've been really enjoying working on draft 6 of Project Teacup. I started it, I think, like 2 days ago. And so I am kind of right now in like the planning stage. I've gone through the story. I've written a lot of notes. I've consolidated the feedback I've gotten from my agent. If you haven't seen that vlog, I suppose I haven't really acknowledged it enough in this video yet. If you haven't seen that vlog, I worked really, really hard on whichever side of the thing it is, this side. And so I am basically going to go through the story, work out exactly what I want to do with these changes. There are a few threads that need to change in complex ways, so it's going to be hard work, but I'm very excited to do these edits because I think they're going to be really good. And that's what I'm going to do at this cafe. So I am very thirsty. I'm out of water. I drank all of my water when I was climbing. I'm going to head to a cafe which is called, what is it called? Hello Neighbour, I think, is the cafe. It's in like Unley or Hyde Park. It's like a really nice area of Adelaide. So I'm gonna go drive there now. I think it'll take like 15 minutes to drive. But I am starving, so I'm very excited to go get something to eat and just drink a lot of cold water because it's very, very warm today. Buckle down and concentrate on the draft 6 editing plan for Project Teacup. Generally, I'll listen to music, or if I'm not listening to music, I will put in my Loop earplugs, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, Loop earplugs. I was so excited when they reached out to me. I've been using these bad boys for about a year. I bought them with my own money in a non-sponsory context, maybe at the start of last year for live music. The earplugs that I'm using while working on Project Teacup are the Experience earplugs. These are the negative 18 decibel ones. I've found that they're also wonderful for conventions. The airport was the really surprising one. Anywhere where there's a lot of like really flat surfaces, concrete surfaces, and lots of people, and so the noise bouncing is really sharp and annoying. I get sensory overload to do with sound, and so I found that these earplugs, in addition to protecting my ears, also just make me feel a lot more comfortable. I cannot go to a sporting event now without bringing these with me. Loop also very kindly sent me 2 more pairs of earplugs. So these ones are the quiet earplugs, negative 26 decibel earplugs. They're wonderful for sleep, travel, or general noise sensitivity. Switch earplugs, which are the 3-in-1 earplugs, and so you can go from negative 17 decibels all the way down to negative 25 decibels. And these ones are great because you can have them in, protect your ears, and then if you need to have a conversation with someone, you can just switch them. You don't have to take the entire earplug out, which is really handy, especially for parties, situations where you're in large social gatherings. So if you want to check out Loop earplugs, please feel free to click on the link in the description down below to get a discount on your order. was originally gonna have this be like a single day in my life vlog, but I got home from hiking Mount Lofty and I ended up just buckling down with writing stuff and I forgot to pick up the camera again. So here we are. I've made a significant amount of headway in the planning for draft 6, but I thought it would be really good for me to hop in here and have a little Q&A in the back half of this video because there were a lot of questions that came up really frequently in the querying video that I uploaded, and I thought it just would be nice to sit down and chat to you guys. It's been a whirlwind. It's very exciting. Does this this mean your book will for sure be published? No clue about any of this. And so this relates to me getting an agent. As I explained kind of briefly in the querying video that I put up, getting a literary agent is a really fundamental step towards getting traditionally published in Australia, America, the UK, all of these particular markets. However, no, getting a literary agent does not guarantee you a publishing deal. It is very, 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 very hard to get a literary agent, obviously because there are so many thousands of authors trying to get agents. And once you get a literary agent, the competition is obviously a lot smaller for the next step, but you are not in any way guaranteed a publishing deal. Just because you take a book on submission to publishers doesn't mean it's going to get published. But the wonderful thing here is that if I finish Project Teacup, I give it to my agent to submit to publishers, I can go work on something else, and then I don't have to go try and get another agent with the second book because my agent is going to represent me for all of the work that I do. So that really tricky first step is already done. I don't have to do that again. So now that you have an agent, what are the next steps? I'm going to start work on draft 6. I have some things I want to change. I don't know if the book is going to need a draft 7 or a draft 8. I just want to see how I go with this particular draft. Then my agent will take the book to publishers and try to sell it to publishers. And so essentially my plan for me is to finish these drafts on Project Teacup, give them over to Bailey so that she can sell to publishers while I go and work on something else. Next question, and a very, very important one. Is an agent expensive? No. Agents do not cost any money outside of the context of them taking a cut from your publishing deal and royalties. And so if you are querying right now and someone's responded to you and they've said, yes, I'll be your agent for a fee of X dollars, run in the other direction. Agents do not cost money up front. Reputable agents will not say, yes, I'll take you on, but you have to spend $5,000 in editing fees with my friend. That's kind of corrupt. Agents get paid when you get paid from publishers. What were the questions you asked the literary agents and how did you know what to ask? Most of the questions that I ended up asking the agents were mostly to do with Project Teacup itself and with their opinion on the story and where the feedback would take them. I asked them a lot of questions about their communication style. Really, I was just feeling my way and it depended on the agent as to what I would ask them. The best video I found on this is by Alexa Dunn. She has a great video on questions you can ask agents. I think she has like 30 something questions in that video, so obviously you'd only pick a small handful, but I'll link that video down below because it was a really great resource for me. As an Australian author, what made you decide to get signed by an international literary agent? I did not decide. I did not have a choice because I write speculative fiction and Australia does not have any support for speculative fiction writers or genre writers just generally. If you go down the list of Australian fantasy authors, you're not gonna find really any that have an Australian agent. I can think of literally one who does. They're very, very, very hard to find. How did you choose which agents to submit to? Research, lots and lots and lots of research. I went to the acknowledgements pages of all of my favorite books and I wrote down the agents that represent my favorite novelists, and that's where I started with. It has taken me like many, many years of research to develop an understanding of which are the more reputable agencies, but it's a long process. It's a laborious process. You just have to put in the work to find out who is good, who represents who. One of the problems I think that agents are having now, because agents are having skyrocketing numbers of queries, is that I think people are signing up to Query Tracker. The two sites are linked and I find it a little bit confusing. They're searching through the Query Tracker search function and then they'll just bulk send queries to all of those people, and so they're not really putting in the thought or consideration. There are lots of agents on Query Tracker who it said that they accepted fantasy, but they absolutely didn't, and so it's not accurate. And I think that because of Query Tracker, agents are being flooded with queries from people who are not putting in the time or effort to research it properly. And I think it irks me a little bit because it just adds to this problem. It adds to the wait time. It adds to the agents getting overwhelmed. Oh, I love this question. If you only had responses from agents 1 and 2, would you have made the large changes? For anyone who's not watched the querying video yet, essentially I ended up with 6 offers of representation from different agents. I picked agent number 3, who is now my agent Bailey. But agents 1 and 2 wanted really, really big changes. Agent number 2 wanted me to add in a romance plot line to the story, which you can tell that I was super thrilled to hear that suggestion. And then agent number 1 wanted like the most significant changes. Like that agent wanted me to basically rip the story apart and start again, from a completely different angle. In terms of keeping their changes, yes and no. I think for agent number 2, I would have put my foot down and said I'm not adding a romance to this, because that really conflicts with my values on this particular story and with that particular character. Like because there's not a romance story in Project Teacup, but there are examinations of love. The way that that was written is one of those things that is quite precious to me and is very important to me, whereas there are other things that agents have come in and said, oh, you need to change this, you need to change that, and I'm like, absolutely, let's change that, that needs to be better. And so there are certain things in the book that I'm quite particular about and precious about, and that's what's important to me about the story. And so anything in that realm would not have changed, because I would have been like, that's not my book anymore, that's not why I'm doing this. And the thing with agents as well is that they're not your boss. They can't tell you what to do and what to change in the story. And even with the edits that I'm working through with the story now, Bailey has said like, oh, like this could be better, that could be better, and now it's my job to go and decide if I agree with that and how to fix those problems. The onus of the book sits with the author. The changes sit with the author. It's the author's name on the book, and so no, I wouldn't have done all the big changes if I had gone with agents 1 or 2. I just find the romance one really funny, and that's part of the reason why I got so emotional during that clip, because I just felt really frustrated. Like this idea that if you're a female person and you're writing a book, there has to be a romance in it, and it's like it just reminded me of like the scene in like Greta Gerwig's Little Women right at the start, where the guy's like, oh, if there's a woman, she's got to be married by the end. I have an idea for a story probably a few books down the line that has a love story in it that I'm really excited to write one day, but it just wasn't this story, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's a great question. Is Project Spiegeltent going to take a back burner whilst you re-edit Project Teacup? Yeah, it is. Which is probably good, because I honestly needed some more brewing time for that story. Like there were some things that I wasn't really ready to go yet, probably because I was querying and I was so like emotionally drained from querying that I was just a bit burnt out and not really ready. And now the final question, now that you've gotten an agent, what's your biggest tip to writers currently in the querying trenches? Oh my goodness, for all of you, I just want to give you a big hug and say like, it's really hard and I'm sorry that you're going through it. I edited the querying vlog and I uploaded the video and I hit publish, and I just felt a wave of, not like guilt, but like I just felt bad for everyone who is currently querying, who's gonna see that video and see someone else get an agent while they're not getting an agent. Like I know that, I think it was like 4 months actually that I was querying Project Teacup. Every time I was on Twitter and I saw someone get an agent, I just felt my heart sink a little bit, because I was like, oh God, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Just know that if you're in the querying trenches right now, that my heart goes out to you, that it's really tough. Essentially, my biggest tip is that it's really important to go on with new things. If you can, start writing a new book, throw yourself into the next project, because no matter what, you're gonna need another book. But beyond that, just be kind to yourself and be compassionate, especially if, you know, you're working full time and you're very busy, or if you're a parent, if you have a lot of stuff going on and you're doing the querying thing like me. Like, you know, obviously I've mentioned before that content creation work is my full-time job, and generally most of the time the hours are more than full-time hours, and so trying to fit in the querying disappointment around this really high energy work that I do, it's really challenging. I found that really difficult, and it meant that I didn't really have much space left for Project Spiegeltent. I felt really flat and sad about the whole thing, and so my heart goes out to anyone who's currently querying, and I just want to say, be kind to yourself, be compassionate, and I hope you get there. That is probably the last question I have time for in this vlog. It's been absolutely amazing getting to read all of your comments on the video. Like I've never had so many comments so quickly on a YouTube video. I've never seen people be this excited for anything before, and I am so excited for 2024. I'm so excited for everything that's going to be happening next. I have made really great headway on the plan for draft 6 of Project Teacup, and so I'm going to throw myself into that over the course of this coming week. Yeah, I just wanted to say another massive thank you for all of your support, for feeling invested in this journey, and I hope that the book gets to go into submission, and I hope that it sells, and I hope that you guys get to read it one day, because that would be, amazing and so exciting, and I just am filled with gratitude and excitement. Also, before I go, I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I wouldn't be able to make these videos without Patreon. Over there we have a whole bunch of bonus content, bonus videos, all of the writing updates, our private Discord server, so many things. So if you want bonus content from me, or if you just want to support my work, there's a link in the description down below. Take care everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.